Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to another case study video. And if you are a new subscriber to this soft power platform, then hello and hi and welcome. So I wanted to cover, to discuss, and to unpack a case study and a very important milestone in womanhood awareness and a cautionary tale of relationship suffering of a very down bad and a very depressed and checked out woman and a woman in masculine crisis mode who, although better late than never, is finally waking up to the utter devastation of what it means to marry into a raw deal by playing the masculina role in her entire marriage. And while this case study will give you hope that a feminine education and having feminine awareness will always be an absolute game changer in a woman's life, this video is a warning shot to my younger audience on what it means to be married to an unmasculine man and a feminine man-child, and what it means to be in your masculine as a wife in a role reversal marriage, and what it means to have both a husband and a son who is depending on your masculine strength to be the backbone of the family. And this video is also for the confused men or the incel internets who are often lurking on this channel and who need to understand that you cannot move the goalpost on what a husband is responsible for. And this video is also for the men who need to see a live action example of what it looks like when a man is completely out of pocket as a husband and the overall devastating toll that being overstimulated in your masculine can and will look like on a wife. This is also a warning shot for a woman of any age to understand what a bad marriage deal looks like, because one of the worst moves that a woman can make is to say that she's married for the sake of just saying it, because the ultimate goal is to be married to a competent man with a provider mindset. So let's take a listen to this woman's testimony, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
You know, I may make light of the reasons why I'm getting a divorce, but truly one of the biggest ones is I've been in this masculine energy for so long that I have lost my identity. Like, I really feel like a damn man for most of the time in this relationship. I have endured things that no woman should have to deal with when it comes down to things like protection. Imagine now, my son, one of them, teenage son, not 5 years old, teenage son, thought he was going to be in an altercation with another guy. I had no idea. He walks past his dad, he walks past his brother, and he says, "Mom, come with me. This guy is talking shit, and I want, I think it was his computer or something. He wanted something back." Without hesitation, I jump in the car. My gimpy, post-stroke surviving self jumped in the car to take this boy to meet this kid for a potential altercation with no hesitation. I drive him over there, and he actually gets into a fight. Just think about that. In a crisis, in a potential situation of harm, his instincts is to seek me out, like to forego his dad or his brother, but seek me out. Like I'm the fucking goon in the family. I've been masculine for so long that we actually will go somewhere. I'll come out to the car, and my husband and my son are sitting in passenger seats. Nobody's in the driver's seat. They're waiting for me. I've been in this masculine energy so long that I don't even recall more than 4 or 5 times, I'm 56, even talking about or discussing menopause or understanding that some of the emotional changes or the changes in my skin or all these different changes are coming from that. No concept of it. My brother-in-laws used to talk mad shit to me, just the most inappropriate, most vulgar things that they could say to me. And because I think maybe because of the military, likely, I would just talk shit back. But the fact that my husband allowed it in his presence for them to say the most deplorable things, the most disgusting, vulgar things to me, and him not feel the need to protect me from them, that's crazy. And it didn't even occur to me until my boys got older. Like, so we're talking about years. When my boys got like 8 and 11 years old and they were actually in the room and noticing this, that's when I spoke up. Because it occurred to me that my sons were witnessing the disrespect and how their uncles were treating women. And I didn't want that to be their standard. And when I approached my husband about it, He said, "Oh, well, you seemed fine and you were giving it right back to him. But were you fine with it, sir?" I've been masculine for so long, I'm constantly thinking about filters. HVAC filter, water dispenser filter, the air filters in the car. I was reading this whole list about if you've been imbalanced for so long, and I'm checking all the boxes. The self-care, that's for shit. The freaking burnout. The stress that I've been carrying and just the impact it has had on my physical body. Like, I walk around every day with a headache of some degree, literally every day. And sure, it may be related to the stroke, or the stroke is related to the stress, either way. I mean, when the kids were younger, I was doing both, putting Hot Wheel tracks together, building Legos, and also bedazzling dance costumes, cooking, and cutting grass. So yeah, I'm fucking tired. And it's not just me jumping into these roles. My husband made space for me to be in these roles. He sought me out for some of these masculine roles. Like, literally, if there was something heavy to lift, now the two youngest are over 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, give or take. But he would seek me out. "Babe, come help me move the couch. Babe, come help me move the table." And if you're wondering, yes, even intimately. In the past, me initiating was a treat, but then that became the norm in this relationship.
So, this woman bravely shared how being in her masculine has basically clipped her feminine wings, has destroyed her looks, and more importantly, her health. And I must say, that there is no coincidence that this woman was in the military. So from the jump, she was always expected to be the masculine leader of her entire family. But this woman's testimony is a video that women of all ages, particularly my under 25 audience, should watch and take mental note of, because this is the kind of testimony that you will need to influence your ability to make better decisions when it comes to one of the biggest milestones of your life, and that is the man that you will marry and create a family with. This woman's testimony speaks volumes on how the older generations were groomed and were expected to be soul destroying masculina mules by both their husbands and their sons, to the point where she admits that the men in her family literally treated their mom like a man and expected her to do all of the heavy lifting. And even worse, that her husband sought her out for her masculine strength. I found this woman's testimony to be refreshingly eye-opening and honest, and is a testimony to how powerful it is now becoming for many Black women to have the language to describe the level of masculine suffering and dysfunction that they have experienced from having a depleted to non-existent feminine divine. And we all have known and seen women like this in our families: drained, depressed, sick, unhealthy, burnt out, and surrounded by feminine men who are just as equally lost and clueless in how to use their masculinity to fully support their wives and their children. But the days of Black women doing it all in their masculine while their out of order feminine husbands and their coddled sons stand by and do nothing while the matriarch literally works herself to death are slowly becoming more and more exposed, and I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, many feminine men, and this includes low value, bottom shelf, and underperforming men of all races, and in many cases, many Black men who were once very status quo accustomed to putting the weight of the world on the Black woman's shoulders. But at least Black women are finally beginning to wake up from this status quo masculina programming, and a generational change and a shift is finally happening. But here are a few mental takeaways that I think you ladies should take note of. So grab a pen. 1, you cannot have a strong masculine provider husband while at the same time being a strong independent masculina. 2 masculine energies in a marriage will cancel themselves out, and 2 feminine energies in a marriage will also prove disastrous. And in both scenarios, you will both be miserable. Number 2, the more feminine that a wife is and the more masculine that a husband is, the stronger the chances of relationship harmony and survival. Harmony and polarity is the goal in romance and a happy marriage, not equality. Equality is for the workplace. But in marriage, it is all about harmony and what both the masculine and the feminine divine bring together. 3, Man was created to use his strength to make a woman's life easier, not to destroy you. And it is so unfortunate that this woman did not know that her husband is supposed to lighten her load, not triple it. Ladies, when the masculine math ain't mathin', time to abort mission. And as a bonus, never ever sign up for a lopsided role reversal arrangement like this under any circumstances, where you are only valued for your labor and where you are both a maid and a bodyguard, and where you will come out of this arrangement feeling hella robbed, hella bitter, hella pissed, and hella resentful, and where you will come out of it looking like a sleep paralysis demon. As for this woman knew that something was amiss, but because she is from an older generation, she couldn't exactly put her finger on what that exactly was. And I love that she has awakened and that she is now desiring more feminine visibility over being an overworked masculina. But she will need a complete 360-degree overhaul in understanding how to heal her wounded feminine or her broken femininity, because without changing herself, she will essentially be screwed. But thank goodness for the power of the internet and feminine school videos, and I am so happy that this woman will be able to give herself a second chance to discover and to develop her feminine divine, because absolutely too many women, particularly Black women, have died from being burnt out masculinas, and sadly, many women will die without ever having had the chance to truly heal in their soft power. So that is all that I have to say on this for now, but to get this conversation started, are women finally waking up, and is it ever worth it to marry a feminine husband? And as always, the more that you like and share these videos, the more that this channel will grow and the more free 99 content you will get. So please stay tuned for more perspective and cautionary tale videos to come, and I will catch up with you ladies and lurkers and ear hustlers in the next one.
My husband took me out of survival mode. He gave me the best gift that I've ever been given, and that was a safe space for me to flourish in my femininity because I did not have to fight for my livelihood. 9 months into our marriage, he came to me and told me that he wanted to be the primary provider for our family, because ultimately that's what we believe God intended for the husbands to be. It wasn't a rule in our house that I could not make money. It was just a standard that he set as a man who wanted to step up and be the primary provider. He became so successful that his success became a landing pad for safety and security, so that I could also build a thriving company without any added pressure. All of this really came about through his drive, perseverance, and walk with the Lord. So remember this: a man who is in tune with the Lord will undoubtedly be in tune with his wife.